Yeah, now that you mentioned the percentage, what percentage you think you should give to any a co-founder?
It depends on what they do for the company.
Yeah.
I've had people approach me and want to take a quarter of the company to essentially be co-founder and but they had massive amounts of influence. They know all the major brands. They have built billion-dollar companies. They have funding. They have all these things in place. So you have to weigh out what they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's really what it comes down to.
Okay, cool. And when did you start Shareity?
So the idea,
No, when? Like what year?
Oh yeah, no, like I'm saying, like the idea was probably, I don't know, 2012, 13 or something like that. 2012, we started getting patents on it. I didn't go full time with Shareity. It was just small things, and like we were developing the platform. It took a couple of years to develop it, and just a lot of things going on. But
okay.
And then I had real estate that I was doing in between there, and then full time was like 2016 into 2017.
Oh wow. And yeah, throughout all these years, have you had any growth issues? Have you, and how have you dealt with them?
We've had a lot of pivots, a lot of things that, a lot of it was, when we first started out, we were an app, right? And then, we went to one of these big events at one point and we're like, hey guys, you just need to download the app and then do this fun challenge on there and whatever. And it's just like, I don't have room on my phone to download an app. I don't have this. So then we pivoted and it's all web app and it's all text now. So there's a lot of things that we learned along the way that made things a lot easier and quicker to do. So I think a lot of it is about just learning right along the way. So, our core product probably didn't really start until 2016, 17, 18, and then, as far as traction and growth, we've seen bits and pieces. We saw a lot up until 2020, and then all of a sudden 2020 came. We did a lot of live events. We did a lot of walk run events and stuff. And obviously live events went away. So we had to pivot again. So then we pivoted to the action button for good, adding it to any advertisement anywhere in the world. So Nike does an amazing ad, right? Just don't do it for the Black Lives Matter movement. They want to align with their customers. Right? One of the biggest things that brands want to do is align with the customers where they are. So they do this advertisement. You have to remember that, oh, Nike now, I remember it because I'm in the business of doing that, right? But a lot of people don't even remember that. But what if they could take action with it? And that's what we do. So do the challenge, put your hand over your heart or whatever for, the movement, and, Nike will donate $5, right? So we're a quick way to add an action button to any campaign. So we kind of pivoted out of the, the live events world into, this more virtual world of, virtual events and in social media, marketing, TV, radio, online, everything.
Wait, so let me get it right. So it started as a, live event kind of thing, and then
live event platform, and now it's kind of transformed into. It's always had that aspect of it though. So like at live events, people shared outside the event, but we never focused on just like, we never focused on like, for example, TV ads or anything like that, right? So now think about, seeing a TV commercial or a social media commercial and just texting to participate in it. So we just add that action now to whatever the brand is doing. So there's really not a lot for them to add except, essentially a text code if they want to take action. And then obviously our platform kicks in from there and they see the challenge, they do the challenge, they share it, track their influence, rewards, all that stuff.
Wow, cool. And yeah, so when or what was your biggest down moment in your career as entrepreneur?
Biggest down moment, I think there's been a lot of them.
And then tell me the biggest the best moment later, so we have both.
Geez, I mean I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's no specific moments. We've had some, as far as like the company goes, we've had some really good good times and we've had some really bad times. And I don't think you can prepare for either. They just kind of come out of the blue. Specifically, I don't know if I could rate one against the other. It's just something that you have to go through. And even, what I would say though is you can't get too high and you can't get too low.
Hmm.
Because every single, like, I mean, you know, life is like a heartbeat, right? So it's like it goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. And when it flatlines is when you're dead, right?
Yeah.
So you have to expect that everything in life is gonna go up and down. And so some of these, like the best moments, the worst moments, they kind of combine into just moments, right? And they're not like a good or a bad thing. I see them all as like blocks that you
Yeah.
stack up, and this is the block of what I did while I was here on Earth, right? And so you can look back and you can say these are good or these are bad, but looking back, I look at them as just that's who I was,
Moments.
and those are the issues that I dealt with, and those are the solutions that I was able to solve. Right. I think I pride myself on being able to solve problems. So solving those issues at that point in time are really important. It's really important to kind of pull yourself out of the perspective and look at it as a whole, right? Like
Yeah.
look at it as if you were watching yourself on TV, going through this, and say, wow, look at that guy going through all that stuff right now. Like, if he only did this or this, the one thing you cannot do is kind of just hide in a corner somewhere.
Yeah.
Because that's when you lose.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say it's all about how the perspective, right, you take on these
Exactly.
events. Yeah. And you started at 16 or 15. Have you had any issues with your age, like when you started at a young age?
Oh
Have
yeah,
you not taken seriously?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I guess I still kind of look young for my age, but
Yeah.
I think in the beginning, I got it a lot. I was, and you always had to make up for it. So whether it was mowing somebody's lawn, like how are you going to take care of my lawn? Are you sure you're going to be here every week to mow it? Right in the beginning, they didn't trust you, and then you build trust. And when you start building trust, they recommend you to friends, and it kind of takes off from there. And when I was doing like large loans at banks at like in my early 20s, like $1 million loans at banks, like I walk in and they're like, "Who are you?" Like they're expecting somebody with gray hair, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even older than I am now, going in there and getting the types of loans I was getting. But you set the track record with people, and then they know you fulfill on your promises, and that's the only thing that you can do is you say, "Give me a chance, let me prove it to you," and then you fulfill on your promises, and you just kind of keep building it up from there.
Yeah. Yeah. You actually have to know exactly what you're doing. So like you prove them that you're serious, right?
Exactly.
And yeah. And
Yeah, you,
uh,
you do. I mean, that's a good point too, because you have to be an expert on what you're doing, right?
yeah.
And you have to kind of you have to be one of the. Yeah, I do remember. Even when I was doing landscape construction or like construction or any of those things, like I had to prove probably 2x or 3x value for all my competitors that were out there that were like bidding against the same jobs.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of that came through with just knowledge about like the plants or knowledge about like the building systems or like how we did things better than everybody else and why this was going to be a better investment than anybody else. And and it was building that trust and building that
Yeah.
relationship with people, so it's very important.
Okay. And if you Google Shareity on Google and you find that you got 700K in angel funding in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
how was that? Like how's the process of getting it, or yeah, how was it?
Well, it's pretty easy because it came from my own pocket.
Oh,
So
okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, we
Never
didn't.
mind.
I haven't dealt with any. We haven't had any outside investment yet.
Okay,
The angel funder was myself.
okay.
I funded my own business, and I still maintain, like 96 or 7% of the company.
And are you looking for, um, uh, external investors?
Yeah, we're looking for the right ones.
Okay.
Um, we have a lot of people that want to give us, a couple $100,000 here and there. And we're looking for smart money. We're looking for people that can bring us to the next level. Like right now, I can play in this world. I feel like I can play in this world forever. Like this kind of world of 10,000 users, whatever, up to 100,000 users or something. But if I want to push millions, hundreds of millions of users, we need to kind of get into the bigger fields, right? Where we can get the bigger audiences, which means
Yeah.
more money, which means more influence, which means
Yeah.
more people knowing about us.
Hmm.
And that's all marketing, it's all advertising, it's all who it's all influencers. Yeah, it's the bigger game.
Cool. And almost finishing up here. Where do you see Shareity in 2 years?
Well, I think we have an exponentially scalable platform. And I really see, if you think about it, one person brings 5 people on, those 5 people bring another 2 or 3 people, those people bring 4 or 5 people on. We don't scale like any other, social media app out there, right? Even the biggest, scaling one of its time was Snapchat, right? And they scaled, really quickly. And a lot of them have kind of had that similar model, right? Where, they feed on word of mouth, but never when it's like how we do it, right? Because we have a very proprietary platform where people can just do quick actions, and they literally just, the whole sign up process is all in one. It's not like they have to sign up, download something, do something else. It's like literally all in the same motion. So it's snap, raise, share, and that's it.
And
Um,
yeah, and do you see any of these social networks, kind of copying what you're doing, kind of copying Shareity,
I
or
don't.
like,
I think that maybe some people might try and do it, but we do have IP and patents on this, and we've done this for a while. So anybody that does do it,
see
you
in
know,
court?
probably have grounds.
Yeah.
We probably have grounds at this point because I mean we're the only people like kind of baking it all around social influence and everything that we have and all the blockchain type technology for tracking and the unique way that we do it with Snap Ray share and the web interface and the text and all that stuff is all proprietary. So if they do it, then they probably end up
Court.
buying us or doing something
Oh,
along those lines, or
okay.
trying to buy us. I
Yeah.
would think. But
Hmm. Cool. What's your goal in life, and what do you want to be remembered for? Just so you know, everyone hates this question. So
I actually like this question
yeah.
because that's what we think about all the time at Shareity, and we're a platform for the people to kind of make, if you think about, 10 years ago, people would say like, what do you want on your gravestone, right? Now it's like, how do you want to be remembered, like on social media? Do you want to be remembered like jumping off a building drunk into a pool, like during your college days, or do you want to be remembered for all the good that you did in the world and how you help people and make it a better place for everybody else around you? That's why we're inviting people to be part of this company. It's a people-centric platform where people can turn a lot of the negative that's in social media into good. And if you look back and you see, like, imagine your kids looking at you at some of the stuff, and maybe you didn't do all the crazy stuff that a lot of people are doing right now, but imagine them looking at you and saying, hey, why did you do that stuff back then, right? Why didn't you help society? Why didn't you move things forward when there was these movements, when there was these chances to do it?
Mm.
um, we always look back at like you even look back at your grandparents or something, and like they either fought in the war or they didn't fight in the war, and we're always like, well, why didn't you, like, or whatever it is, or what side were you on, or how could you let this happen, right, type of thing.
Yeah.
um, it's really, how do you want to be remembered? And Charity helps you build that and take back that social influence. So I see this as being a huge turning point in society, where people start taking back their social influence, demanding that brands donate money because of them to create better relationships, and then buy products in a whole new way.
Cool.
And I see that this will have an effect for decades in centuries to come, hopefully, but it'll be remembered forever because it's never going away. Your digital footprint is never going away. So the ability to start tracking it now and realizing the benefits of it now, but then realizing later that this is going to create an entire story for you that's going to be shared for generations after you're gone. So when you say like, how do I see myself, or like, how do I see my life going?
Yeah.
I see it starting this kind of, this spark that hopefully catches this wildfire of realization that, your social online presence is worth something. Your digital presence is worth something. It should be utilized in a different way. It should be monetized in a different way. And collectively, people can be part of the solution, right? Being part of that community to do good and have social change and impact in the world.
Wow. Okay. You know, I love this conversation. It was, at points it was very deep, but it's very cool. Well, thanks, Ben. Thanks for coming and thanks for joining us here. I think I enjoyed it. I think our listeners did
Good.
as well. And yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Anytime.
The easiest way I think for everyone to start is Alibaba. You have to buy, like, for example, 100 products or 500 or including more, okay? And I look for factories that could manufacture the product I wanted, okay? Or something similar I wanted. Once I was there, I text them, okay? They in China, because all of the manufacturers used to be in China, they use an application called or named WeChat. That's when I started to contact with all these factories via WeChat. Yeah, we were like, yeah, negotiating prices and all this kind of stuff. And but first, before doing the first order,